Ursula K. Guin, who passed away in 2018 at the age of 88, was hailed as the queen of the world of fantasy literature. A female science fiction writer who won the Nebula Award and Hugo Award 6 times, she was deeply influenced by Chinese Taoist thought and created a wealth of outstanding science fiction works with her beautiful, serene, and philosophical narrative style. Today, we bring you her Hugo Award-winning work, The Left Hand of Darkness. It is said that long ago, humanity thrived on a planet called Guin, until they eventually reached the galaxy and created the once thriving Guinian civilization. During the expansion process, humans used genetic modification technology to send modified individuals to dozens of planets. However, the Guinian civilization began to decline, and the bonds maintaining relations between the various planets gradually disintegrated, leaving the humans on these planets to fend for themselves. Hundreds of thousands of years later, human civilizations scattered across the universe began to reunite, and an interstellar alliance called the Ecumen was established by 83 planets. In order to find those who were once lost human companions, the Alliance dispatched interstellar envoys on a long journey to explore various planets and invite them to rejoin the human family. The story takes place on a cold planet known as Guin, which is home to nearly 100 million genetically modified humans. Although Guin's orbital path and gravity conditions are similar to those of Earth, its harsh, cold environment has led to slow population growth on the planet. On the other hand, the previous genetic modifications have had a profound impact on the Guinians. Although their appearance is indistinguishable from that of humans, their gender has undergone a significant change. They have no gender. Or rather, they are both male and female, known as androgynous. Guinians spend most of their lives in an androgynous state known as the lock phase. For several days each month, male or female characteristics will gradually emerge, and this period is called the Khmer phase. During the Khmer phase, Guinians can engage in mixing or form a commitment similar to monogamy. The commitment can only be made once, and divorce or widowhood is considered a breach of the vow. Brothers can reproduce through Khmer, but they cannot form a commitment. Pregnant Guinians will maintain female characteristics during pregnancy and lactation, and will return to an androgynous state after childbirth. A few Guinians remain in the Khmer phase for life, possessing only one trait. These individuals are considered sexually deviant and cannot reproduce. Guinian society tolerates the existence of sexual deviants but holds them in contempt. The original text states, "In our society, a man wants others to see him as possessing masculinity, while a woman wants others to appreciate her gentle and delicate femininity. No matter how indirect or subtle this recognition may be expressed, in Guin, neither will exist. To respect a person or evaluate a person is merely to see them as a pure individual. Here, there are no distinctions of strong and weak, protector and protected, dominant and submissive, possessor and possessed, active and passive. In fact, we find that the dualistic tendencies commonly present in human thinking have been weakened and transformed among Guinian humans. Humanity finds it difficult to comprehend such a special civilization. Yet this planet possesses qualities that others do not. Namely, crime is exceedingly rare here, as the world of androgens erases male hormone levels, eradicating the impulses that lead to war. At the same time, this has resulted in Guin's technological development being quite slow, achieving progress equivalent to hundreds of years of human advancement over several millennia. Therefore, when the human envoy Jin Li arrived here, their technological level was equivalent to that of humanity's industrial era. They didn't even have aircraft, let alone space travel. There are two countries on East Star: Kaid and O'Grayan. Kaid is a loosely structured kingdom made up of tribal townships, while O'Grayan is a centralized state. The two countries have been in a state of hostility for a long time due to territorial disputes. Jin Liai first went to the first kingdom, Kaid, and to avoid causing panic among the locals due to the technological gap, he docked the starship around this star system and went to East Star alone. Prime Minister Istvan received him, and 6 months later, the Prime Minister facilitated a meeting between Jin Liai and the king. Jin Liai told the king that if the East Star people joined the Interstellar Alliance, they could broaden their horizons and expand into the complex and mysterious realm of intelligent life, as well as enhance friendly cultural and trade exchanges between the Alliance and East Star. Moreover, the Interstellar Alliance already has 80 planets and the support of over 3,000 ethnic groups living on them. As a result, this statement made the king uneasy. He could not believe such a depressive claim, and if it were true, his own small territory seemed insignificant compared to dozens of planets and 3,000 countries. Additionally, the king's focus was not on the alliance itself, but on Jin Liai, as Jin Liai was a human who was perpetually in a male state, which the king viewed as a complete sexual perversion. When the king learned that humans from 83 planets were like this, he was utterly shocked and terrified. He couldn't imagine what such a perverted society would be like. Thus, he resolutely rejected Jin Liai's invitation to join. However, considering that there might indeed be an advanced civilization backing Jin Liai, he did not dare to execute him. During this time, although the territorial disputes between Kaid and O'Grayan did not erupt into large-scale war, the border towns became targets of attacks. The king used the border disputes to boost national pride, while Istvan opposed the escalation of territorial disputes and was labeled a traitor by the neurotic king, which led to his dismissal from the position of prime minister. The king ordered that no one in the nation could shelter or support him. At this critical moment, Istvan chose to flee. After the king rejected Jin Liai, he also lost the care that the prime minister had always provided him. In this world where no one trusted him, he felt incredibly lost. Should he go to the second kingdom, O'Grayan? However, before heading to the second kingdom, he went to a mysterious secluded village, said to be home to a prophet who could predict the future. Perhaps he could obtain some information there. Jin Liai met the prophet here and asked the question that was on his mind: will the Kaid kingdom join the Interstellar Alliance within 5 years? The prophet gave a positive answer, and he left satisfied. During this time, Jin Liai visited various towns in the Kaid kingdom and gained further in-depth understanding of this civilization. Although the East Star people have existed for over 13,000 years and invented basic electrical appliances such as heating systems, steam engines, textile machine, and agricultural tools thousands of years ago, their current technology has stagnated. In the harsh natural environment, the social structure of the Eastern Star people has also become extremely severe. They do not tolerate mistakes. There is almost zero tolerance for those who make mistakes. Those who err either freeze to death or starve to death, with no other options. These characteristics further lead to the planet's stagnation, seriously lagging behind other civilizations. Jin Liai sent the prophecy he received from his secluded village to the capital of Kaide in the form of a letter, but he never received a reply. So, he went to the second kingdom, O'Grayan. The social structure of O'Grayan is completely different from that of Kaide. This country is composed of 33 districts, each governed by a governor. The 33 governors vote to collectively govern the country. People in this country begin receiving special education unified by the community right from their board of directors. They are required to obey superiors and submit to the collective. Personal property also belongs to the collective after death. Their individuality is erased, and the entire society appears as peaceful and quiet as they look. At the same time in Guin, Jin Liai saw Istrophan again. It turns out that after being relieved of his duties, he also fled here. He had obtained an official position through various arrangements, and Jin Liai's successful arrival here was also due to Istrophan's covert protection. Jin Liai quickly met with the elect of Guin, and he told them that he came from the distant Han civilization. The purpose of his visit was to invite them to join the Interstellar Alliance, but beneath the calm surface of Guin, there are turbulent undercurrents. There are various power struggles hidden among the 33 governors. They are not afraid of Jin Liai, who possesses advanced technology, but they are afraid of each other. In Guin, hardly anyone believes Jin Liai. Most governors think he is a spy sent by Kaide. Soon after, Jin Liai was secretly arrested, and the signal device for summoning a spaceship was confiscated. After severe torture, he was sent to a volunteer farm to engage in hard labor. People in the volunteer farm are regularly injected with a special drug to erase their critical periods, further controlling them to engage in labor. Most people suffer and die painfully under such extreme torment. And as a human, Jin Liai reacts even more violently to the drug. Just when Jin Liai was on the brink of death, Istrophan infiltrated the volunteer farm under a false identity and successfully rescued him just in time. They escaped to a valley. Under Istrophan's careful care, Jin Liai ultimately survived. Jin Liai is very curious about why Istrophan saved him. Istrophan told him that he might be the only one on Eastern Star who believes in Jin Liai. As he seems to foresee the future of this planet, Eastern Star has developed to a certain turning point. Friction has already occurred at the border between the two countries, and a war unlike any other may soon unfold on this planet. He hopes that his planet will join the human interstellar alliance and leverage the alliance's power to change this situation. His ideal is actually also Jin Liai's ideal. At this moment, the alien Jin Liai also completely believes in this former prime minister. Istrophan stole food and supplies for warmth, and they began to traverse the ice fields. Starting a long journey that would last 75 days, they must head to a village in the Kahade Kingdom, where there are high-power antennas to send signals to the spaceship. In the novel, the author spends 3 chapters detailing their arduous journey over 75 days. Grand in scale and full of poetry. The two of them. 1. A person exiled by their own country. And the other, a wanderer unable to return to their mother. Shared stories of their respective civilizations along the way. 2 different civilizations burst forth like fireworks in the ice-covered wasteland. During this time, Istrophan entered the Kimu period, but their friendship had surpassed love, becoming a great friendship. Just like the ancient poem recited by Istrophan, light is the left hand of darkness. Darkness is the right hand of light. Life and death converge, like the hands of Kemu embracing each other. Lovers like tightly clasped hands, as if reaching the end of a journey. In the end of the story, the two cross the ice fields and reach the village. But the villagers, due to Istrophan's traitor label, executed him. However, Istrophan chose not to flee, but deliberately died under the Sentinel's gun. At the moment before the light arrived, Istrophan stepped into eternal darkness. Perhaps only with his death could many things find closure. The two countries would eventually join the alliance, fulfilling his and Jin Liai's great ideal. In the end, Jin Liai successfully summoned the spaceship, and the Kahade Kingdom also joined the Interstellar Alliance. The The reason this novel can win the Fishbone Award is not only due to its well-structured plot, but also because the author leaves behind various philosophical and experimental questions. The author, Ursula, influenced by her anthropologist father, has the strong shadow of an anthropological report throughout the novel. She also proposes some bold thought experiments based on anthropology in the novel, such as the relationship between war and male hormones. Is war precisely a process of male hormone release? What would happen if these factors were placed on a planet without gender differences? Regarding gender issues, there is a universal gender binary in human thought. Gender has been imbued with cultural meanings and backgrounds. When we speak of males, we think of masculinity and strength. When discussing females, we subconsciously think of softness. But in a society without gender, all these symbols disappear. There is no dominance or submission, no possession or being possessed. A person only needs to be a pure individual. Ursula poses questions from this perspective to examine our humanity. Secondly, there is the sense of loneliness of the entire race. Unlike humans, the loneliness of the Dongxing people is innate. There are no other bisexual animals on Dongxing, which prevents them from gaining insights from nature. For tens of thousands of years, this loneliness has severely impacted their values, leading to a narrow mindset where only Istrophan can be trusted on the entire Dongxing. On the other hand, anthropologist Claude Lévi-Strauss once described the difference between primitive and modern societies using hot and cold societies. Social structures since the Neolithic Revolution are hot, like the temperature differences continuously created by a boiler and condenser, accelerating change, driven by the ongoing differentiation of species and class. Primitive society is cold, self-limiting, and sustainable, just like a well-made mechanical clock that can keep running indefinitely on the initial energy provided without friction. Inspired by Lévi-Strauss, Ursula uses the Taoist concept of yin and yang to depict utopia. Utopia once burned brightly like a sheep. Yet our civilization is now such an extreme sheep that any imagination to improve its injustices or avoid its self-destruction must attempt some form of reversal. Like the aphorisms in the Tao Te Ching, all things are interconnected, and there are no official assignments. Service leads us all to return to our roots. Returning to the roots is called reverence. Reverence is called returning to life. And the return to life is daily knowledge. To maintain longevity, one must change direction, turning inward, towards the essence of utopia. In many people's understanding, light and darkness are opposites. But in Dongxing's philosophy, light and darkness are as closely related as the left and right hands. Perhaps when we encounter things that are completely different from ourselves, we can try to understand with an inclusive mindset and explore the similarities within supplies.